Hey, what's up everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again. It is that time of the month, time to talk about my favorite albums that were released this past month, April 2024. Absolutely another killer month for metal. As usual with these lists, I pick my 20 favorite albums that I listened to this month. I'm going to rank them from 20th down to 1. Don't put too much stock in the order, as a lot of these are new albums that just came out, even some this last week. So my preference or ranking of these will surely change over time, but it's just a lot of fun to put these lists together. You know the drill by now. Usually half my lists are black metal because that's just the genre I go to the most, but there's a lot of other stuff in here as well. So without further ado, I'm just going to get into this, and as usual, I want you to give me your picks down below. Give me your recommendations, because I can't listen to everything. I love getting your picks so I can go discover more albums to listen to. These 20 that I'm going to talk about are great, but there's even more I listened to this month that were pretty good as well, but I wanted to draw the line somewhere with 20, and I will say out of these 20, I'll say the top 4 here are a notch above all the rest. Once I get down to the top 4, those ones are absolutely killer albums that will probably be in the running to make my year-end list. The rest of them that I'm talking about today are still pretty good, but maybe not quite on the level of the top 4. But let's go. Enough rambling. Let's kick it off. Okay, in 20th place, I am going with Castle Rat and their album Into the Realm. So this is a very unique and fun album. This is like psychedelic, fantasy-oriented doom metal. So a healthy dose of old school Black Sabbath, but it's a female-fronted band with very unique vocals and just a unique approach. Like, they're really leaning hard into the fantasy themes, and even with like their get-up and just their whole like shtick, I guess you could say. Yeah, very interesting, unique album. If anything I just said sounds like it might be up your alley, go give it a listen. It's a lot of fun. Up next, I'm going with Korpituli and the new album Pohjola. So this is some Finnish black metal, a one-man band. This album took me a little bit by surprise because I really liked his last album, but that was more on the like symphonic black metal, almost like a throwback to early Emperor style. But then this album shifted gears completely, not the same style at all. This is more like epic, folky black metal, which I also love. So maybe it doesn't sound like the previous album, but hey, all the better. If you're going to keep switching it up and throwing different styles of albums, I'm all for it. I like the last one, and I really dig this one as well. Go listen to Korpituli if you have not. Sticking with black metal, up next in 18th, I'm going with Hekseblad and their debut album, Kaer Morhen. So this is some Witcher-themed, old-school black metal, full of great riffs and just that dirty, like, old-school raw vibe that I love. This band is from USA. This is their debut full-length as well, I believe. I think they've had, like, some singles or EPs out. I might be wrong. I did not look too much up about this band. This is my first exposure to them anyways. But yeah, all in all, very solid black metal release. Worth your time, worth checking out. Up next, let's switch up the genres here and go with Witch Vomit with the new album Funeral Sanctum. This is some US death metal. Look at that album art. Absolutely amazing stuff there. This is just heavy and very like reverb heavy on the atmosphere, and just the style of riffing's very heavy on the low end, but just all in all a very solid death metal release. It's got that murkiness that I really enjoy, and it even brings in some melodicism that maybe they didn't always have on their previous releases. But yeah, all in all, very solid album. It's in 17th just because I like some other albums more this month, but this one could be way higher on your list, and that would make sense to me too. Up next, going with Cistvaen. Might be mispronouncing that name, I'm not sure how to say it. Their album At Light's Demise. This band is from the UK, and they play like depressive, atmospheric black metal. This album is just so full of sorrow. This would be like the perfect thing to listen to on a rainy day. Just really gonna be dreary and bring your mood down, but it's really well done and kind of goes some different directions in spots as well. Just all in all, a very solid album. All right, up next in 15th, I'm going with More and the new album, or their debut album, Hear the Hour Nearing. This is some atmospheric black metal, just full of great riffs. Like, this band is from France, And I feel like when they were writing this album, they're like, I don't know, should we have less riffs or we should have more? We're called More, let's do more riffs. But terrible joke aside, this is full of amazing riffs and just awesome songs. Solid album that you should definitely go listen to. Up next in 14th, I'm going with Tyr and the new album Ballads. So if you're not familiar with this project, they're from the Faroe Islands, which is really cool. And this is like progressive, epic folk metal. Been around a long time. I'm a big fan of these guys. I will say this album, I wouldn't put it quite on par with their best. This was almost more of a like straight ahead album, whereas some of their other ones had more of a progressive edge to it. This album is a little bit inconsistent, but there's still some great tunes peppered in there. Maybe it's not front to back amazing, but there's still some super catchy, amazing songs in there as well that would be great live. Like I said, maybe not their best thing they've ever put out, but a very fun and enjoyable listen nonetheless. Go listen to Tyr. Up next in 13th, I'm going with Antichrist Siege Machine. So this band is from USA. Oh, I should have mentioned the album name, Vengeance of Eternal Fire. That would help. Almost skipped that completely. But yeah, they're from the USA. This is war metal, or like blackened death metal, however you want to label it. This album is only 25 minutes long, so it plays more like an EP than a full length to me. It is very furious throughout, but it's a lot of fun. I will say I wouldn't put this higher on my list just because it is kind of one note throughout. It's very monotonous, but in your face at the same time. It's just, is there a lot to differentiate the songs from each other? Not necessarily, but if you just want 25 minutes of pummeling, aggressive, fun war metal, look no further, because that's what you'll get here. Up next, I'm going with Aristarchos, not sure on the pronunciation there. I butcher all these band names, I apologize, doing my best. Their album Martyr of Star and Fire. This is another band from the UK, another black metal band. Really expansive tracks here. It's only 4 songs and about like 35 minutes, so you kind of know what you're getting there. Some lengthy compositions. Another one with amazing album art here too. Like you just know what you're in store for based on this album art alone. This is just truly excellent black metal release. Definitely deserves your attention. Go check it out. An awesome album. Up next in 11th, I'm going with Dolman Gate with their debut full-length Gateways of Eternity. This is some epic heavy metal from Portugal, female-fronted band, so of course there's going to be comparisons to bands like Smolder or Bloodstar, but I even hear some like Eternal Champion in there as well. The vocals, they're probably either going to be love them or hate them. I like it, but I could see like it's not the most, like the strongest vocals out there, but they're really catchy tunes, and I feel like her passion for singing still like comes through in the music and it suits it. All in all, still a very solid album, especially for epic heavy metal, a style that I absolutely love. Go check out Dolman Gate. All right, now we're into the top 10, my 10 favorite albums that were released this month. So, cracking that list in 10th place, The Legends, My Dying Bride, with the new album Immortal Binding. So a band that should probably need no introduction. UK Gothic Doom legends. Started out more on like the Doom death side, but have drifted away from that. But there's still some elements of the death in there with the guttural vocals that are hit or miss on the album. Like they're not in every song, but typical My Dying Bride style. Like I will say this is a solid album, but not necessarily something that's super stand out compared to the rest of their discography. Kind of in line with their last few albums they've put out. I still enjoy it. I think it's good, but if I'm in a My Dying Bride mood, I'm going to be going to those early classics, probably more than this, but I don't want that to sound too negative. It's still a solid album, still definitely worth listening to. Up next in 9th, let's switch it up with some speedy thrash with Vulture and their new album Sentinels. So, like I said, speed metal, thrash metal from Germany. This album is so much fun. It's so catchy and just ripping tunes from start to finish. You got a track like Unhallowed and Forgotten. Excellent track. You are going to be singing along to that instantly. It's just full of hooks. This album will put a smile on your face. You will be headbanging. You'll be playing air guitar. Exactly what I want in a speed metal album. They delivered. Vulture with Sentinels. Up next, let's switch it back up with some more black metal with Bilwis and their new album Hameln. So this is a one-man German black metal band. I was a huge fan of their debut from a couple years ago titled Pan. That one hit me really hard, brought in like folky elements as well. This one continues in the same style. It's got those melancholic melodies over top of like the atmospheric black metal. I will say this album hasn't hit me as hard as the previous one did, but I haven't spent as much time with it yet. I don't know as it reaches the same level of excellence as that, but is still a very enjoyable atmospheric black metal album. If you haven't checked out Bilwis, go check out their previous album, but also check out the new one as well. Up next, another legendary band, Darkthrone, with the new album, It Beckons Us All. So, another band that needs no introduction, obviously started out as one of the innovators in the black metal, in Norwegian black metal, have definitely gone through some different eras throughout their career, and they're kind of in this new era of the band where they're combining like old school doom metal with just straight ahead traditional heavy metal with this like signature Darkthrone vocals, the little bit of black metal added in with that sound. It's very unique to them. They're just like a garage band writing the music that they want to write. They don't give a shit about trends or anything like that. They don't need to put out the same black metal record that they did 20 years ago. They're just writing what they want to, and I applaud them for that. It's full of great riffs, and yeah, just exactly what you want for modern day Darkthrone. Do I think this compares to their classics? Probably not. I don't think I'm going to be going back to this one as much as I say go to like Under a Funeral Moon up there, but nonetheless, it's a different style. It's almost a different band at this point, while still being just uniquely them. It's, yeah, like I said, very enjoyable album. Do I think this is like year-end material? Probably not, but nonetheless, it's Darkthrone. It's great. Go listen to it. Up next in 6th, I'm going with Ard, a new album, Untouched by Fire. This is another one-man band from the UK. This is epic doom metal with a ton of melody and a very unique sound that almost brings in like monk-like choirs. The man behind the band is the keyboardist and does some clean vocals in Winter Filleth, a great UK atmospheric black metal band. I really love the debut that Ard put out a couple years ago. This one follows in the same footsteps. Really dark and depressing mood, but the vocals are so unique and just like, it's uplifting while at the same time sorrowful and depressing. It's just a really unique style, epic as hell. If you're into just like melancholic, melodic, epic doom, definitely go check out this album because it is a winner. Solid stuff. All right, now we're into the top 5. In 5th place, another legendary band, Deicide, with the new album, Banished by Sin. Been talking about amazing album art. Check that one out. No, just joking. Album art aside, I know there's huge AI controversy with this one. Kind of sucks. It's not the best album cover, that is for sure, but I'm not just gonna judge a book by its cover completely. I'm not gonna avoid listening to an album because of the album cover, but yeah, throw the album cover out, listen to the music. In my opinion, they sound super rejuvenated, brought a new guitar player in, and this just has the classic Deicide sound with the guttural vocals and the higher pitched vocals on top. Glenn Benton still doing it. This is just God-hating old school death metal. I feel like this is one of the better Deicide albums for like their modern era. I would maybe even go so far as to say it's their best since The Stench of Redemption. Is it on par with their early works? No, not even fucking close. But nonetheless, this is a headbanger of an album. Way better than I was expecting it to be. They're still going strong. I love this band. And yeah, they put out a solid album. Deicide in 5th place. Alright, like I said at the beginning of the video, my top 4 here are a notch above everything that I just talked about. While I liked those first 16 albums I'm talking about, these next 4 are albums that I love so far. And yeah, if you haven't checked these out, do yourself a favor and go listen to them. So, give you a second to try to guess what these 4 are, and then let's get into it. In 4th place, I'm going with Attic with the new album, Return of the Witchfinder. If you're unfamiliar with this band, this is some German traditional heavy metal. But when I say that, this is a huge King Diamond and Merciful Fate worship band, basically. Like, the singer wears the corpse paint, looks just like King Diamond, sounds just like King Diamond, so you could accuse them of not being too original, not really coming up with their own thing, because it's almost too close to the, like, source material in some points. But, like, if I close my eyes, this sounds like it could be a new King Diamond album. But while I say all that, they still throw in some intricacies and uniqueness to kind of set it apart so it's not just a clone. They even bring in some like black metal blasting, and there's like some Iron Maiden lead work in a way. I would say this falls more in line with like Merciful Fate than it does with King Diamond solo stuff. But nonetheless, if you're a King Diamond or Merciful Fate fan, you gotta go check out this album. Absolutely amazing stuff. The guitar work is great, and the vocalist, he really can sing these falsettos that I didn't think anyone else other than King Diamond can, but this guy can. And yeah, all in all, absolutely solid album. That's why I have it in 4th place. Up next in 3rd, I'm going with one of my favorite black metal bands. In my opinion, the best Greek black metal band out there, which probably is an unpopular opinion, but I don't care. I think they're better than all the other Greek black metal bands. I'm talking about Kawir with their new album, Κυδοιμός. Probably mispronouncing that, so I apologize. Like I said, bang for my buck, this is the best Greek black metal band out there. Them and Macabre Omen anyways, but you talk about Greek black metal, people always seem to go towards like Darkthrone or Rotting Christ. But to me, Kawir is more consistent and their discography is pretty untouchable. There's not really too many weak moments there. And this album is no exception. This does not disappoint. Their last few albums in their more modern era went a more like epic direction. This album maybe isn't as epic as their last couple, but man, is it just vicious. The drumming here is absolutely insane. They got a new drummer here. His blasts and double kicks off the charts, and just, yeah, great vocals, great aggressive riffing, and still bringing in those unique Greek charms, like with the folkiness, and absolutely amazing. If you haven't checked out Kawir, go check out their entire discography, but go check out the new one as well. Solid release, amazing. Up next in 2nd, I am going with Morgal Blade and the new album Heavy Metal Wraiths. So this is some US traditional heavy metal, but with a hint of black metal, mostly in the vocal department. Like the vocals on this are in a black metal rasp, but musically I would not call this black metal at all. This is just straight ahead heavy metal with just, yeah, amazing, catchy songs. I absolutely loved their debut from a few years ago, and I honestly think this one even tops it. And this is another one with amazing album art. Like, come on, look at that. This is possibly my favorite album art of the year. Just outstanding. Obviously, you got the mist wraiths there. Anything that's going to be like Lord of the Rings influenced, I'm going to be nerding out over. And then on top of that, it's music that I absolutely love. Traditional heavy metal with some black metal vocals that's pretty unique. Like a band you could maybe compare it to would be like Korpituli, but I'd say Morgal Blade's more on the heavy metal side than the black metal side. But nonetheless, don't always need to just compare to other things. Full of catchy songs, absolutely killer album. Go check out the title track, Heavy Metal Fucking Wraiths. You will be singing it. Fucking amazing. That's why it's in 2nd place. So that just leaves one. My favorite album of the month is Belore with their new album, Eastern Tales. So this is some French epic atmospheric black metal. This is their 3rd album. This would be for fans of bands like Summoning or Caladan Brood. And this one, I have loved both their first 2 albums. And I feel like they just keep building upon that foundation and getting better with every release. Front to back, this is just an epic journey. It's just, there's so many amazing melodies that will stick in your head. If you know me, you know that I absolutely love this style of black metal. It's so epic, and it's the kind of stuff that I would like read fantasy books to, and like it's awesome. I don't know, I'm running out of describing words, but you have to go listen to this. It's just amazing. Honestly, my favorite album of the month, one of my favorites of the year so far for sure. Go check out Belore. I'm running out of words because there's just too much awesomeness here, and I don't know what else to say. It's awesome, it's great, it's fucking amazing, whatever. Shut up, Hammerheart. But yeah, that's my list. Like I said, give me your picks down below. And until next time, Hammerheart Metal Reviews out.